Yes. Rob, Anik Subramanian from Fightbook MMA. Welcome back. At the championships last year, you told me that it would be awesome to bring the first ever PFL belt back to Australia. How was the homecoming? And tell me what the celebration was like.
It was good to get home to Tassie and just see all my friends and family I hadn't seen for about 10 months whilst I was over in Denver training. And yeah, the news and paper and everything got behind me a lot, which was nice because they in the past they haven't got behind MMA that much back home, and a few people stopped me on the street or in the pub and stuff like that and congratulated me. So yeah, it was very nice to get back home.
Good to hear. And one more from me. You won all your fights by knockout last year. Thiago Santos, your opponent, he has power and is also a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Do you plan on keeping the fight on the feet or mixing in some grappling as well? And what do you envision the matchup to look like?
I'm happy to fight. I think I'm very well rounded. I'm happy to take the fight wherever it goes. One of my goals this year was to be a bit more blend my striking and grappling a bit more together and not just be one dimensional. But that being said, he's got power, but when did we see that power last? I don't think he's had a knockout for however many years. So yeah, I'm comfortable wherever the fight goes.
Thanks, Robin. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Patrick McQuarrie.
Hey Rob, this is Patrick McQuarrie from Combat Sports UK. How you doing today?
I'm good, bud.
How good does it feel, coming back after a very successful season, obviously winning the $1 million? I want to know, man, what was the first thing you bought with the big load of cash?
I've saved most of it. I went on a little holiday to Mexico for 2 weeks after the fight. And yeah, just honestly haven't really splashed out too much with it.
And the growth of Australian MMA recently across many promotions, the emergence of Jack Della Maddalena and a lot of other fighters. Do you feel like you're one of the main people among that group? And if you do, how good does it feel to be leading the charge among those amazing Australian fighters?
I mean, I think in Australia, PFL hasn't grown that much as a sense as obviously more of the casual fans, as people say, follow the UFC, but definitely, I just won a world title for Australia, and everyone who follows MMA knows that I'm one of the main guys out of Australia.
Thank you so much for talking to me, and good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Kyle Diamond. Kyle?
Hi, Rob. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Cool. Kyle from VMTV. I'm wondering, coming into the season as last year's winner, how do you kind of re-center your motivation to go and do it again?
I mean, I'm always motivated for fights, and I feel like winning it last year. That was something, I don't know, I just knew it was going to happen, and I feel like this year is going to be even better and even bigger, even more important for me to win it this year than it was last year, to really make a statement that I am the best light heavyweight in the world. And I think going back-to-back championships is a good way to show that.
The PFL has been a fantastic breath of fresh air for you in your career. Do you think it could be the same for your opponent, Thiago?
Unfortunately, not. I think I'm gonna happily send him into retirement.
As someone who's been through the tournament once over now, what do you think will surprise Thiago the most with him doing it for the first time?
I mean, obviously he's got to fight back to back, but I've seen him in the past. He's been, very active sometimes before, but I think I heard him saying that he thinks, he's just levels above everyone in the PFL, and I'm just going to show him that's not the case. And we've seen time and time again, UFC fighters coming over here thinking they're going to be able to just easily win $1 million and win a world title and not go their way. So I'm looking forward to being the PFL champ to do that to him.
Cool. Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
Jay Anderson.
Hey, Rob, thanks very much for the time today. You're now the man to beat, the man with the target on your back, so to speak. So I'm curious if that changes anything for you, even on just the mental side of things.
Not really. I know I've got a bit of a target on my back, but I think most of my fights last year I was still the favorite going into them, and I'm excited. I want people to know who I am and trying to take me out. So yeah, it doesn't change anything. I'm still preparing. I'm still just as hungry and motivated as I was last year.
And you mentioned we haven't seen Thiago's power in a while. Do you feel he's been able to get back to where he was before the John Jones fight, or did that fight and the injuries really just change him for the long term?
I mean, if you look at his fight since that Jones fight, he hasn't finished anyone. He's lost 5 of his last 6, I think. And obviously he's getting on in his career age-wise. So it looks like it did change him, but it's always hard to come back from, especially double knee surgery.
And I guess the flip side of that, do you feel he's going to be extra motivated coming into this season to say, hey, I'm not done. I've still got something in the tank?
Yeah, definitely. He's fighting me, who won the tournament last year. He's looking to make a statement, come in, and I'm sure he's looking to get a finish over me and, show that he's the top guy in the division. But yeah, I don't believe that's the case. I'm the champ, and I'm going to be the double champ this year.
Well, looking forward to the fight. Thanks again for the time.
Thank you.
Jonathan.
Hey Rob, Jonathan Ramakhan, 5 Regions Sports. You just spoke about being the double champ. Only 4 people have actually repeated as a champion. What do you need to do to be the 5th person?
Just constantly improving. Not be happy with where I was last year, and know that to win it again, I've got to be a better fighter than I was last year. And I believe I'm always improving. I'm only 31. I think I've got a lot to keep showing you guys when I'm fighting and show my full skill set. And I'm very motivated to do that and keep proving that I'm the best fighter in the world.
Now, going through the whole tournament, winning the whole thing, do you feel like that gives you a specific advantage knowing how to prepare going throughout the whole season?
A little bit. I think I did it pretty well last year, managing my recovery and mindset throughout the tournament. So just making sure I'm doing the same sort of stuff this year. But yeah, you can be lucky or unlucky. Injuries can step in the way from anything. And in the tournament, if you're injured, you either have to fight through it or you're pulling out. So it's the toughest tournament in the world.
Thanks, man. Good luck.
Thank you.
Curtis.
Rob, this is Curtis Calhoun here with MMA News. My first question for you is I want to talk a little bit about the PFL format. You mentioned kind of, coming off of your first season in the PFL, and obviously it worked out great for you. But what are your thoughts on the format, like the quick turnarounds in between fights and the grind and knowing who you're going to fight ahead of time?
I like the turnaround. I think this year we've got maybe a little bit longer between fights, just like a week, 9 weeks between, I think, this fight and the next fight. But I don't know, after a fight, it's nice to have a little bit of time off. But then if you don't have anything to, aim towards, sometimes you kind of spend too much time eating junk food and fucking around. So I like that. As soon as you're done, I've got another goal, another task to get straight onto and keep me just straight back at the gym.
In terms of the statement that I would make to win the PFL title 2 years in a row, I mean, I guess, like, what kind of statement do you feel like that would be if you pulled that off, like in terms of putting you against some of the other top light heavyweights in the world?
I think it's a huge statement. I think then I'd start getting the respect I deserve, or I believe I deserve. I think I'm the best light heavyweight in the world. I don't think I deserve that ranking at the moment, but I believe, going back to back definitely gets me very close to deserving that ranking.
Last question for me. When you look at this matchup specifically with Thiago Santos, do you feel like, kind of the accumulation of damage that he's taken over his past few fights will catch up to him in this matchup? Or I guess, how do you see that?
I mean, I don't think he's really taken too much damage. He's just kind of changed the way he's fighting in the last few years after the Jones fight. But I'm sure he's going to be coming out maybe a bit more aggressive than he has in his past fights and trying to bring the old Santos back and into a new promotion. And, I'm sure he's very motivated to go and win a world title before he's done. So, yeah, I'm not taking this fight lightly, obviously, at all. I think it's the biggest fight I've had in my career, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you.
Jay Christian.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wilkinson. J. Christian Gary at Focus Fights Audio. How are you, sir?
I'm good, bud. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, mate. I just wanted to ask a couple of questions if that was okay. I know this was opined earlier, but you're facing Thiago Marreta Santos at PFL 1. With this being his PFL debut, coming in from the octagon, so to speak, what would be the one tip you would say to Santos as a way to get him, adjusted to fighting in the smart cage?
What was your question, sorry?
Basically, with Thiago Santos coming into the PFL from the octagon, obviously the three-letter promotion that a lot of people often talk about, what would be the one tip you would say to Marreta as a way for him to get used to fighting in the smart cage?
I mean, it doesn't matter about the promotion. Top guys in the world, we're the top fighters in the world, so it's not any easier over here.
Understood. As you're coming into this particular season looking to repeat as champion and add an extra $1 million to your bank account, what would you say to young fighters that are inspired by your journey?
I mean, I think I've shown that it's just a lot of hard work and being disciplined and committed to what you want to do. And it doesn't always come quickly or easily. Last year was a very good year for me, but that was my 11th year being a professional fighter. So, I've had 10 years before that where I've made no money and, just doing the grind, which, everyone kind of does. So you just got to be committed. And if you love what you're doing, it should be easy.
Understood. And one more question. Considering the fact that you are fighting your second consecutive tournament as a light heavyweight, would there be an interest down the line of you, gaining 15 pounds and fighting as a heavyweight down the line?
Not anytime soon, but maybe when I'm a little bit older and can't be bothered giving up burgers, I might fight a heavyweight.
Okay, understood. With that in mind, congrats on getting into the season, and I hope you do well as the season progresses, mate.
Thanks, bud.
Last question for Rob. Anik.
And mine's for the next round. Sorry, I just asked Rob questions.
Oh, sorry. All right, let's do Lorenzo.
Hey, Rob, it's good to talk to you. 2022 was your most active year as a pro MMA fighter. You fought 4 times in 6 months, and you ended the year with a big championship win. This is your first fight since November. Can you talk a little bit about how you balanced the past 4 months? You mentioned fucking off and not eating burgers. How hard was that with four months off after such a busy 2022?
I ate a fair few burgers with my time off. No, it was good. Obviously, you have the season and you train really hard, and then you're going to have a little bit of time off. It went pretty quickly, but going home to Tassie was nice to see family and friends. And I'm always training. I don't just stop training or anything like that. But it's nice just you don't have to stress about a fight coming up or what you're eating too much. But I'm always at the gym and always looking to improve.
You mentioned going back home to Tassie. Here in the States, most people unfortunately associate Tasmania with Looney Tunes, right? Can you talk a little bit about what your hometown is like and how it helped raise you?
It's my favorite place in the world. It's a beautiful little island at the bottom of Australia. It's not tiny. It's I think the population's about 500,000 people, but it's enough space that it's just I highly recommend going there if you ever can. But I always look forward to getting back home.
All right, and last question for me. This fight has a lot of eyes on it, and for good reason. You have the 2022 PFL World Champion trying to make a statement and say, yeah, it's a new season, but I'm still here. I'm still the man to beat, right? And on the other side of the smart cage, you have a big free agent signing. He's looking to make his presence felt in this new league that he's in now. Are you of the belief that this is the biggest fight of your pro career, given the circumstances?
Yeah, I feel like this is a huge fight. I feel like it's bigger than my title fight last year, and I'm going into this to make a statement. And I think getting a win over Thiago really helps prove that I'm one of the top light heavyweights in the world.
Awesome. Thanks for your time, Rob. Can't wait to see you on Saturday.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Rob. Appreciate your time today. You just want to head through that door right there for